Yeah, welcome back students. This is Electromagnetic Theory and Transmission Lines 2018 Supply 2 marks questions and answers. Coming back to the first question. State the relationship between electric flux density and electric field intensity. Okay, in the previous video also we have seen the relationship. The electric flux density is equal to epsilon times the electric field intensity, where epsilon is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r. Then the d bar can be written as epsilon naught epsilon r times electric field intensity. For free space, epsilon r is equal to 1. Therefore, d bar can also be written as epsilon naught times electric field intensity. Okay. Now coming back to the second question, obtain Poisson's equation from Gauss's law. Refer 2018 regular video for that. Now coming back to the third question, define magnetic dipole. A bar magnet or a small filamentary current loop is nothing but a magnetic dipole. Okay. Now coming back to the fourth question, write the expression for the inductance of a toroid. We know that this is the toroid. This is the toroid. I have considered the Amperian path. This is an Amperian path. It is not a circle of toroid. It is an Amperian path. The radius of Amperian path from the center of the toroid, let us consider smaller. Now the inductance of toroid is given as mu n square into A upon 2 pi r, where r is the radius of Amperian path, A is the cross sectional area. This is the inductance of a toroid. Now coming back to the next question, that is the fifth question. See that define displacement current. We have conduction and convection current. Convection current is also be called as displacement current. The current flows through an insulating medium such as liquid, gas or vacuum, okay, which doesn't obey Ohm's law. That current we are going to call as convection current, or it is nothing but a displacement current. Now coming back to the next question, write the Maxwell's equation from the Ampere's law both in integral and point form. Now let us consider from Ampere's law, we know that the closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar is equal to the current enclosed by that Amperian path. Applying Stokes theorem, then according to the Stokes theorem, the line integral is going to be converted into surface integral. Okay. Now we know that the current enclosed is equal to the surface integral of j bar dot ds bar. From these two expressions we can say it is an integral form. That means if you observe that this is an integral form, the closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar is equal to the surface integral of j bar dot ds bar. This is an integral form. Now this is the point form. This is the point form. That means by comparing these two, you can able to say that del bar cross h bar is equal to j bar. This is the point form. Now coming back to the next question, define electromagnetic wave. Electromagnetic wave, or simply you can call it as EM wave, are the waves that are created as a result of vibrations between an electric field and a magnetic field. Okay, now coming back, mention any two properties of uniform plane wave, very important. Okay, I am going to mention here three properties, but in examination point you can write only two properties. We know that the electric field, the magnetic field and the direction of the wave are perpendicular to each other. The ratio of the magnitude of electric field and the magnitude of magnetic field for the wave is equal to the intrinsic impedance. We know this relationship in the free space. You can able to write like this. Okay, the units of this is ohms. We know that which is equal to, I think so, 120 pi. Clear? Now the second property is, just now we have completed the second property. The TOR property is the vector magnetic field for a uniform plane wave is completely defined if the vector electric field and the direction of wave is known along with the medium parameters. That means one of the electromagnetic fields can able to determine from the one of the electromagnetic field. That means if we know the magnetic field and some other parameters, we can able to determine electric field or vice versa. Is it clear? This is question number 8. Coming back to the 9th question, students. Very important question. Derive the relationship between standard wave ratio, or you can also call it as voltage standing wave ratio, and reflection coefficient. Here I am going to define the definition of reflection coefficient, definition of standing wave ratio, and the relation between them. Reflection coefficient is defined as the ratio of the reflected voltage to the incident voltage. It is denoted as rho or K, and some textbooks it is simply can be written as like this. Okay, This is the reflection voltage, this is an incident voltage. Okay, then coming back to the voltage standing wave ratio or simply standing wave ratio, it is defined as the magnitude of maximum voltage upon the magnitude of minimum voltage. Then it can be written as incident plus reflected, it can be written as incident minus reflected. Dividing numerator and denominator by the magnitude of incident voltage, then it becomes 1 plus the magnitude of VR upon the magnitude of VI, then 1 minus the magnitude of VR upon the magnitude of VA. We know that VR upon VA magnitude, okay, it is equal to the reflection coefficient. Now the magnitude of reflection coefficient here, then this is the relationship between standing wave ratio and the reflection coefficient, or you can also write like this. Okay, now coming back to the last question, find the characteristic impedance of a line at 1600 Hz if the open circuit impedance is 750, this is a magnitude, this is an angle, minus 30 degrees angle, units are ohms, and this is short circuit impedance 600, then angle is minus 20 degrees, the units are ohms. We have to find out the characteristic impedance. We know that the characteristic impedance Z0 is equal to square root of open circuit impedance times short circuit impedance, then 750 angle minus 30 degrees times 600 angle minus 20 degrees, then 750 into 600 becomes 450,000, sorry students, 450,000, then minus 30 minus 20, here no need to multiply here, since the two are angles we have to add minus 50. Then after finding this, 450,000 is nothing but 670.82. To find out the angle under the root, simply divide by 2. Minus 50 divided by 2 becomes minus 25. I forgot the units, ohms. Is it clear? Thank you very much, students.